Today's lesson, Script Planner stickers and installing those pesky fonts you purchased on the internet. Want to find out how? Stick around. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Susan with Blue Vinyl Stickers, and today we are going to be using installed fonts to create script word planner stickers. Now that sounds easy, but for beginners or even some people that have been using the software for a while, it may be a little difficult. So I'm going to try to walk you through on a few things on how to create these very elegant, simple stickers. First of all, you need to have the font that you want installed on your computer. For new users of the software, I just lost you, but I'm going to walk you through on how to do this. Back a few months ago, Microsoft decided that they were going to do a big update. And when they did, they messed around and they added a line in the font install portion of our computers. And now I'm speaking strictly for PC users. Mac users, it may be totally different. I'm speaking strictly for PC users. So what they did is they installed a button called Install for All Users. And a lot of people used to say I could click and it would be installed on my computer, but I don't see it in my software. Well, now you have to click the Install for All Users. So stick with me. I'm going to walk you through how to do this. Now let's just go ahead and put this aside. And we are going to click on a folder. Now I have created a folder on my desktop that is called Fonts. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it and open it. And this particular folder, let me get it big so you can see it. This particular folder has a file that I have downloaded. Now, I downloaded it and installed it. Unfortunately, I don't have enough time here to walk you through on exactly how to do this, but downloading from I got this from Font Bundles, as you can see. I got this from Font Bundles, and I purchased it and downloaded it to my computer. It came in a zipped file. Now, this is a zipped file. And I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to come down here to WinZip. Now WinZip is a program that has been around for years, years and years. I've been using WinZip for since it was in version probably about 2.0. I think it's up to version 11, 12, 13, 15. I don't know what the versions are anymore, but I've been using it for a long time. Basically, it's just an unzipping program. And you don't need to have WinZip. I think most computers these days do have an unzipping program already built into it, but this is one I like to use. And you can get a free or a paid version. They're not paying me for this at all, but I do use a free version. So I right mouse clicked and I get this list of things to do. And basically what I want to do is I want to unzip to a folder. If you have the choice, unzip it to a folder. So just click. And what that will do is it will actually unzip and create a folder and put it on your screen. Now you click on the folder and inside the folder there's a couple of more folders. So now this one here, this particular design has files for Mac users. So this here is a Mac folder. Since I use a PC, I right mouse click and I delete it because I don't need it. So now we're going to click on the handwritten font bundle. Open up the file. And here is what is inside this great big bundle. It was a whole bunch of stuff. Now you're looking at it and you're seeing OTF, TTF, OTF, TTF. What is all that about? Basically, I had a graphic artist friend tell me that a TrueType font is basically a font that is in its basic forms. Um, you'll end up with jagged edges and things like that. You want to use the OpenType font, and you can go ahead and Google this for a better definition on what OTF and TTF are. But she always said use the TTF as toss this font. So that's what I've always done. I've always gone in and tossed this font. So I want to install the OTFs, but I want to make sure I get them all. So you should be able to come over here to type, click on it, and it should say TrueType font. So you just want to click on TrueType font, and it will choose just the TrueType fonts. And I'm going to highlight them all, right mouse click, and I'm going to toss these fonts. Now, your files are still all there. Just come over here to type and click on, you can click on all of them. See, they're all there. So I want to just click on the OTF file. Okay. Now I'm going to install these onto my computer. Let's go ahead and do the first one. Now you can highlight these all and install them all together, or if there's only a couple of them that you want, you can just install those by themselves. So right now with this one, I am going to right mouse click and I can say preview. Now let's see what this one looks like. This is what this font particular looks like. That's a nice looking little font. It's a little fun to use. And I can say install. And it will install it on my local drive. But it will not install it into my Silhouette software. So I close this, right mouse click on it again, and here is that install for all users. Okay, so here's install, or the install on the other window. We'll put it right onto your drive. If you want to print it out, you can actually print out this font. You can actually print out this preview, and you can have a stack of these. So if you want to go looking through them, if that's your thing, stick them in a notebook, whatever you want. But it will print out this screen. So back to this. I want to write and install for all users. Just click. And you should get that, and it was installed. Okay, and you can do that with all of them. So if I want to do all of them, right mouse click and install for all users, it will install all of them all at once. Pretty cool. Okay, so now that we've got the fonts installed, I'm going to come back over here to my Silhouette software. And in my Silhouette software, I can come over here to my text file, and let's go ahead, and I want to find this first one here, Bright Nights. So I am going to put in here BRIGHT, and nothing comes up. Okay, because my software was already open. So what you have to do is you have to make sure that you restart your software. So give me a second and let me restart the software. Okay, we are back with a fresh screen. And for today, what I want to do is create planner stickers for, let's say all of the seasons. So let's start by clicking our text button. Come over here to our work surface and type in summer. And then type our text button, winter, oops, fall, and spring. Now I'm going to highlight these and I'm going to make them black so you can see them. I'm going to set these off to the side, and I'm going to come over here and make summer big so you can see it and I can see it as well. Now I want to turn this into that font that we just downloaded. So I'm going to go over here to my text style panel and open up my text panel. And I want you to watch down here. Now, even though this is showing, I want you to watch. Type in Bright Nights and watch what happens. And as you are typing in, your software will find the name of the font you're looking for. If you just type in gibberish, watch what happens. After a certain while, it doesn't highlight anything. If it doesn't highlight anything, that means that this particular font that you typed in here, which is pure gibberish, doesn't exist. So if it finds it after a certain number of letters and you keep typing and it stays on there, there it is right there. So we're going to go ahead and click on it and turn it into our font. Now, we want to turn this into a sticker for our planner. So I want to make this at least an inch tall. And if I make this an inch tall, this is going to be huge. So you can make it clear, you can make this any size you personally want to make it. So for today, I am just going to make them probably an inch tall. So what I need to do is I need to put an outside cutting border on the outside, because if I don't and I just send this over to my machine, it's going to cut out this whole letter, every single letter that's here. And no, we don't want to do that. So I'm going to come over here to my select tool and just click on the word summer. You can come up here to the offset shape, and this is a shortcut. Or you can come over here to the offset shape panel and open it up. Now, if you open up this panel, then you have to decide whether you want the outside offset or the inside offset. If you just click here, then what it will do is put the offset there at a pre-set size, which is 0.125, which I have found to be a pretty good offset for most letters. Now, you can also adjust it higher and lower, higher and lower. If you click here or you click apply, then you have to start all over if you change your mind. Just keep that little tidbit in mind. If you click anywhere, the offset will say, oh, you're done, and you'll have to start from scratch. So, like I said, I like this. And as you can see, let me get this a little bit closer so you see what happened? I clicked somewhere else and it thought I was done. Okay, so I'm going to click on the outside offset here and hit delete and do this again for you. I hit the select tool, highlight it, come over here to the quick select here, and it selects it all. Now you see the black outline, you see it all overlapped. When we click apply, or any place else on the screen as you saw, it will actually combine all of these and make one solid outline with a couple little things on the inside. And I'll show you in a minute how to get rid of these. So I'm going to click apply. Now click off of it, grab your word summer and just pull it up a little bit. Get it out of the way. Now as you can see, we do have some things in the inside here that do need to be edited, because I don't want to be cutting down in here or cutting back in there. So we want to click on the outside, right mouse click, and say release the compound path. That makes everything a single entity. Now we're going to take this down here and we're going to highlight this and hit your delete key. Now that took care of all of the inside extras. What we're going to do is come down here and watch what is going to happen, because I know this is going to happen to you. We're going to take these two and highlight them both. Come over here to my transform panel and I'm going to hit the little center button. Now, if this happens to you, you're going to think, what the heck did I do? So you do it again. and you're going to hit the center button, and you're going to hit the center button, and it's never going to center up. And you're going to sit there and you're going to try to figure out how to get it just in there perfect, but it's never going to be quite perfect. So watch this. I'll show you exactly what's happened. Because the word summer, I'm going to click on it. Look at the bounding box. This is your outside box that your computer thinks this is the size of the design. Here is just basically an outline of here. So this one, the bounding box on this one, you see it's much smaller. I'm going to do that again. See how big this one is? This one is, if I pull it down, is almost 3 inches. Okay? If I click on this one, it's 2.5 inches. So how do you fix that? Very simple. Right mouse click on the word, say ungroup. It puts everything into its own separate box. You see that? Everything is in its own separate box. Right mouse click and say make compound path. Okay? Now, let me show you what happens. Because this and this are now the same size, when you highlight them and say center, it puts it right into the center. What I want to do is I want to take and get rid of this cutout here, and this cutout here, and this cutout. Okay? So I'm going to click on the outside box, and let me make it red so you can actually see it. Let me make it so you can see it. Okay? I'm going to come over here to the Edit Points button and click on it. And if you can see, let me bring that up a little bit for you. There's edit points here. Okay, now let me get this off again down to where it's supposed to be. You see, if I just deleted this, you see what will happen, and I delete that, I don't like that. So I'm going to come down here, click off of again, click down here, and I am going to put a point here, and I'm going to put a point here. I'm going to click on this point and say delete, and that point and say delete, because I want a little bit of a curve here. Now the same thing up here with the U. Oops. And edit point, and see how we have 2 edit points here already? I'm going to take this edit point and I'm just going to leave it where it was because I can't draw. Put another edit point here. Click, click, click. If you put it back together, that makes a nice swoop into there. Over here, you see how it is so tight together? So I know that if I put a real tight point in there and I'm cutting on paper, the blade has to turn. Well, if the blade turns in there, it's going to make a little divot and it's not going to be a smooth cut. So I'm going to put a point here. I'm going to delete this here and this here. And then I'm going to take and pull this handle down and make it more of a curve. Same thing with here. Only this one, I'm going to put a point here and a point here and delete that one. I'm going to turn it just a little bit, give me more of a smooth curve, and that is going to be my outside box. Highlight them again, center them, right mouse click, and group them. Now this is your sticker. So you can go and you can print this on clear, you can print this on white. Let me ungroup them and show you. This is actually, you can print this on white. I use that gray so you can see it. Let's use a different color so you can really see it. Okay, or you can print it like this. You can print it any color you want to print it. And so let's make it yellow because it's summer. Well, that's not a true yellow, but yellow. There we go. So you can print this out just as it is. Now, right mouse click, say group. Because if you don't group things together, then you'll move things and you just have to start over. Don't like to start over. So we're going to come up here to page setup and we are going to select current printer. And we are going to select portrait. Now come over here to the registration marks and we are going to turn on type 1 for our cameos. And if you have a portrait or a curio, you also want to use this. This is the default setting size. I always like to make my black marks. Watch the marks here. I'm going to make it thicker. I always like to give my machine all the help that I can, and just making it thicker seems to help just a little bit more. That's just my preference. So if it works for you, great. If you don't need to do it, great. Now, I'm going to also, because sticker paper is not the cheapest in the world, I am going to move my insets out as far as I can get them. Okay. Now, if you're curious as to where you're going to print, do you see that button or that line come on? Let me get this bigger for you again. Okay, watch this over here. Okay, let me turn these off. If I say show the print border, this is where your printer is going to print. It will print all the way to the edges. I want to see how far out my machine will cut. I turn this on and it goes around the outside of the box, the outside of the line, all the way down to the bottom, and over here to the middle of this line. Okay. Now, I want to shrink this down, so just drag it, hold it. So I want to make this, I said an inch. So let's make it 3/4 of an inch. Okay. And I'm going to put it there. I can do the exact same thing with all of these. Now watch this. I'm going to highlight these. You have to do this individually. Highlight it, highlight it. And you see as I click off and go to the next one, it automatically just puts it there. Okay. I'm going to take spring, release the compound bath, get rid of these. Fall and winter don't have these, but watch this. If I do this again, it's not going to put it where it needs to be. And that's not even in the font that I want. Oh, so watch this. See what not to do. So we're going to come back here. I'm going to select these all, come over here, and your last time that you recently used your font should be right there on your screen. Just click on it. Okay. Now, if I spread these apart far enough, it does it all at once. Okay. It will not take a font that is that far apart and try to group them together. So one click, and you're done if you're going to do a whole bunch of words. Real easy. Now, spring doesn't look like it's got anything on the inside. Okay. But again, here's what it's going to do if I center them. Okay. So take it, right mouse click, ungroup, group, and you're going to see why I'm doing this in a second. Right mouse click, ungroup, group, right mouse click, ungroup, group, and we want to highlight all three of the outsides and make them red because this one's red. Okay. And I probably could have changed the color before I started, but I didn't. So if you didn't, you can just change it there. Put it there, right mouse click. Oops. We want to make it yellow. Well, spring we want to make, let's make spring pink. Right mouse click, group, fall. We want to make it orange. So where's a good orange? Let's make this orange. And winter, let's stick it back here together. Actually, let's do it different. Highlight it before you stick it back together. And winter, let's make it red. Highlight them both and group. Okay. Now, we want to make them 3/4 of an inch tall. And 0.75 and hit the enter key on your keyboard. And there you go. So here are our 4 seasons. And say I want to do this, so I have it for a couple of friends. So I'm going to highlight this, and I am going to hit my control key and my down arrow, and watch what happens. So 5 of my friends can have this if I want, or I can create a whole page of these. I'm going to separate them down a little bit, highlight them, come up here to my transform window. I am going to vertically separate them evenly. Right mouse click and group. Now, I have a whole line of summer. Now, if you just want to put this here and all you want is just one, then you're fine. Go ahead and send this over to your machine and it will cut out each one of these. So if I go ahead and say send, I want to choose line, because if I don't, see what happens? Everything that is a red line will cut. And as I said earlier, we don't want to cut out the letters. So we choose line. And we get our choice of black or red. And since the outlines are red, unselect the black. And there we go. It will cut whatever your sticker settings are. Now the sticker settings for my machine and the paper that I use are a blade at 1, my speed is 5, and my force is 9. I don't see any reason to go any faster than 5. It gets it done just fine. Then we click send. It goes over to the machine and we print this out. That's it. That's how easy it is to create a script font for your planner stickers. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye for now.